Hey, this is Dawn Shireen. I'd like to welcome you to my podcast, The Delusion is Vast. Hope everyone's doing well and everything is going good for everybody. So, this is just kind of I want to say it's going to be quick, right? And then we'll see what happens. But there's been some stuff going on in Flagstaff, and it actually makes me super grateful that I'm leaving this town. But it has to do with a pedophile sting that just went down last week, and some very prominent members of Flagstaff society were busted in this sting, thank God. And people's reactions to, especially one person in this sting who runs a major media company in town, has really made me wonder a lot about people in general. This person also reported on high school sports, which in itself is problematic. But now to find out that he was busted on 7 felony counts of luring and all this stuff, for a 13 to 14-year-old girl. Now, it was a sting, right? So obviously the detective was not 13 or 14 years old, but him thinking it was a 13 or 14-year-old and having 7 felony counts come up on this says a lot, okay? And now, am I too invested in this whole predator thing? Well, I'm hoping not to be in 9 days when I leave Arizona to start my new life. But during the time I've been in Arizona, quite a large amount of it actually, since Lakeside and now, in Flagstaff, predators have been in my life, not by choice, but because there's so many of them in Arizona. I'm thinking it's actually like a possible new Olympic sport, predatory behavior. And like when I first moved to Arizona, I said that lying would be the Arizona champion. The Arizona champion thing for the Olympics would be lying. Well, I think lying and predatory behavior, I think that Arizona could sweep any contest that comes up on that. I'm trying not to focus on it very much today, because when I first found out about it 2 days ago, I was incensed. I could believe it, because the history I've had, I've learned to not trust any men. I was trafficked by somebody I knew for 9 years and thought loved me and was going to marry me, right? And turned out that he had a wife already, and I was just a concession, I was a way for him to make money, and when he got a drug debt that was too high, he sold me to that dude, and I almost died there for real. I mean, I was raped and all that, but I almost died. And I'm not gonna make light of rape because it's terrible, and thank God I didn't get any diseases or anything like that, and I can mentally bounce back from that. I can't mentally bounce back from death, right? So this state has just really opened my eyes up to a lot of negative things about people. And I don't want to slag all of Arizona. I'm sure there's some good people here. I've met a few here and there. But, from Lakeside to the cult to now this situation here, I've not really run into very many nice people in the past 10 years of being here. And it's horrible. So I'm leaving, right? We all know this. I'm leaving in 9 days. Catholic Charities is really, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're just really trying to butter me up so I don't file the grievance forms against this Flagstaff office, and I may or may not. I don't know. It's been so much bullshit over the past 2 years of me being here that it just doesn't really seem wise for me to do something that will follow me to South Dakota, right? I mean, I'm still alive, knock on wood. Yeah, I still turn my power off every night so that they can't burn me out, and it's funny today because, I had to pay my partial rent and, well, I didn't go over there. I wouldn't do that because, the stalker's right there and could blow my head off at the door as I'm handing over the check. But the landlord seemed actually giddy, so I'm sure that there's a big party planned for when I leave, because it's always good to lose a good tenant and keep a predator. But in this case, I'm glad to leave. And in God's wisdom, the whole thing about like renewing the lease for another 30 months, although, a lot of people think I'm fucking nuts and they're like, oh my God, all the money. And it's like, what is money if I can't do anything? What is money if I'm being stalked? What is money with CPTSD where you just relive it over and over and over and over and over and there's no relief from it? What is money gonna do me if I fucking wind up going catatonic in an insane asylum because they push it too far? I don't care about the money. The money hasn't, as opposed to these people of which money is the guiding light of everything, it doesn't mean that much to me. Yeah, it's a necessary evil. You have to have money in this day and age. And I don't want to get all political here, but the way things are going, like, yeah, it's crazy. This world we're all trying to survive in right now. So, it's just weird, and like, I don't expect anything more from the landlord now. I mean, he's got his 19 days prorated. I just hope they leave me alone. I hope they let me leave. I hope they let me leave without incident. I just don't want to die in Arizona, right? So this whole predator thing, right, has me not concerned about my new gig in South Dakota, but wary, Am I going to do a background check on my employers? I don't know that that's necessary. But is it? Right? I mean, have we actually gotten to a point in time in this world where you just can't take anything at face value anymore? And you can't trust anybody, and you can't trust government, you can't trust agencies, you can't trust lawyers, which was one of the pedophiles that was busted. You can't trust the news because you don't know if it's being censored because the guy is trying to cover his own tracks and, doesn't want to bring attention to other sex crimes that are going on in Flagstaff, of which there are many. I really think per capita, Flagstaff might have the most predators that I've ever lived in a community of, for real. And I'm not even joking about that a little bit. They send those like identifying cards of the predators and pedophiles and rapists and all that. And there's a lot in Flagstaff. There's a lot on my road. And I'm not even talking about the stalker who for some God unknown reason isn't on the registry. But alone on this road I live on, there's 12 registered sex offenders. 12. Okay? That's a lot. It's too many. And, I don't know what I'm going to do about it because I'm not going to do anything more to help Flagstaff. I'm done with that. I mentioned that. And I'm not going to cause any more problems because I don't need issues leaving. But I just think general awareness of, if you have kids, of everything about you can't even trust teachers anymore. And I get that all parents can't homeschool and they don't, but people, like, I honestly don't know, like, what as a society we can do to help, like, negate some of this, like, negative sexual shit that is going on. When Diddy thing happened, I was like really freaked out, right? I was freaked out in kind of in a good way because it brought eyes to the fact that, you can't judge a book by its cover when it comes to sexual deviancy. You just can't. And this proves that although I look at this dude and I'm like, oh my gosh, he reminds me of the predator pastor I knew in Lakeside, who also announced girls sports and is still doing his pastor thing without any complications. Maybe not announcing girls sports anymore, but and I cannot be the only person in the world that can look at somebody and just sense it and go, oh yeah, that's bad. That's real bad. I need to stay away from that. I mean, maybe I am. Maybe my energy, and maybe because I've been raped and I was molested as a kid and all this stuff has happened to me, maybe I'm just hypersensitive to being able to get that. But I don't know. And, I don't want hopefully this will be the last show I have to do about the stalker and the predator and all this shit. I have reported the house to, the housing authority so that hopefully at least I have to make general repairs in here before someone else comes in here, like maybe revault the roof, which although I said I wasn't going to, the day I found that the locks had been fucked with, yeah, I did unscrew the roof, most of it. And when I start taking all the ceiling, not ceiling like roof, but ceiling like SEALING stuff out, and all the mice are going to come back in and all this stuff that I did to try to help them. I don't want to make it easy for them to rent to another girl so that she can get raped and killed in here. I don't. So other than that, like 9 days to go, I'm pretty much packed. Like I said, Catholic Charities is coming next Wednesday. I'm going to let them take all the rest of my shit. Hopefully they give it to kids for Christmas. And, because oddly enough, I never really unpacked from Hope Cottage, so I still have like all the weird stuff I was collecting there, lots of stuffies and my guitars and stuff, which I'm gonna give away. I don't play them. I don't play them here, and if I ever get an inkling to play again in South Dakota, I can go buy a guitar, right? It's not gonna be that hard. But, like today I went to get the money to pay the landlord and I said goodbye to my bank and they were all like stunned, like, you're leaving? And it's like, yeah, I'm done with Flag, dude. I'm done with Flag. I'm done with Arizona. I've done my 14 years. I've done like 2 life cycles here. And I've improved and I've gotten better and I'm not a drug addict anymore. And I'm not who I was when I arrived in Arizona. And that's good, right? So maybe I needed all this trauma and catastrophe and losing Christopher and all that stuff in order to grow to be this person I am now with all this experience behind me that can now healthily move forward into a new life, right? And that's the best I can hope for, and help people and maybe marry people in South Dakota, because I am like ordained minister, which never came into play here because it didn't, because I had no freedom, right? I could have been marrying people left and right here and making tons of money, but when you're being stalked and you can't leave your house, it's really kind of hard to do that, right? It's okay. It's okay. I have new opportunities coming for me. So I just kind of really wanted to get that off my chest. This is going to be like a filler show to get to the next show. I remember like when I was doing Dancing with Bipolar and there would be shows where it would be just like ramble on about nothing, like this one kind of. But you need this show to get to the next show. So this is my ramble filler show. Like I said, I hope everybody's doing well. And I just want y'all to know that I wish all of you the best. I want to say I love y'all, and I do in a general sense of the term, but if my stalker's listening to this, I don't love you, I don't like you, I don't respect you, and I wish that you would, well, you don't have to do anything, because I'm leaving, and you and the landlord get to have your happy party dance, because you got rid of me. You got rid of the good tenant. You got rid of me. Aren't you happy? And I guess that's kind of what I wanted to get out, like this like snide shit I feel right now, because I feel so ripped off in this situation, and I feel so used and abused and lied to and neglected in this situation, and it's ending, right? And I'm moving on, and they're still stuck here in a town full of perversion. So I guess you get to go where you belong, and I don't belong here, and I'm leaving in 9 days. Can't wait. Anyway, that's really all I wanted to get off my chest today, and hopefully now I can sleep, because I've been like laying here and it's only, well, what time is it? Well, it's 8:45 at night on the 3rd of April. So, maybe I'll be able to sleep tonight and all this stuff won't just like keep running through my head now that I finally got it out and trauma bonded all with you. Anyway, this is Dawn Shireen. This is my podcast, The Delusion is Vast. And hey, let's all stay alive, okay? Later.